It's 11th of October 2021. Our group went on an adventure to Yamate and紅磡so as to discover more details about the urban legends originated in this district via on-site observation. We had 9 checkpoints, which are scattered in different locations across Yaoqing district and Whampoa. Follow us, together we delve into the mysterious stories and history behind each urban legend. Checkpoint 1. The Whampoa. Some people say Yaoqing and Whampoa are the most haunted district in Hong Kong, with many fascinating ghost stories and urban legends. The Whampoa, a symbolic icon in the district. Many of you should know the Aeon Shopping Mall and Metro Radio inside the cruise-shaped building. In fact, Whampoa used to be a private dock. Before the World War II, Hong Kong economy was dominated by shipbuilding and ship repairing. It was closely linked to the British naval and merchant shipping. During the Japanese occupation period, the dockyard was bombarded by the US Allied aircrafts. Many casualties suffered from the air raid. Although Whampoa has already transformed into a vibrant district with private housing estates and shopping centers, we could still find some vestiges of the past history. A cannon and a plaque in memory of the dockyard staff are placed in front of the Whampoa. It reminded us that a large-scale war is bloodshed and violence. At least, we could know that the tragedy really happened and know the importance of avoiding outbreak of war. Checkpoint 2. Temple. This temple is located near the Whampoa, just a few streets from there. Not much information of its historical background is available on the internet, so we had many doubts in our mind. It stands on the side of the road, with red bricks and green tiles. It attracts a crowd of visitors from all walks of life, from different districts and from different generations. But they do the same things: burn the incense sticks, worship the god of soil and land, and finally make wishes. Some people say the temple was built in Song Dynasty, and the thick wall contains the bone ashes of the students who died in air raids. So we did talk to the person in charge, Mr. Chow, for more details. He told us that he didn't know the exact date of building this temple. He personally thought that the history must be longer than we expected. As for the bone ashes wall, he didn't give an explicit answer, but he responded by raising a question. The temple can be so long-standing because the god protects the land. So, if their bone ashes are really kept here, why not? God brings them peace and blessings. Checkpoint 3. Tinhau Temple and紅磡Kai Phong Association Primary School. Well, Chinese people are superstitious and firmly believe feng shui. Therefore, urban legends are always associated with temples. The god's miracle and avocations are popular theme. On 16th of October 1944, the US Allied Air Forces dropped the bones to attack the Whampoa dock. However, the primary school was mistakenly hit. The air raid caused 300 deaths, including students, teachers, and residents nearby. The school turned into ruin. I think some of you might have heard of one urban legend about this Tinhau Temple. As hundreds of students and teachers were died in the World War II air raid, some of the spirits are still staying around the temple. So, the person in charge shouts, "Hey, it's already evening, time to pack in the temple," every day. When you visit there, you will find a stele in memory of that public school. In fact, the original school building was collapsed in the air raid. After that, some donors gave money to rebuild a school at the same address, which is also known as紅磡Kai Phong Association Primary School. However, the school closed in 2007. The Oipu School renovated the building and used it for teaching purpose till now. Then, we took the MTR to the next checkpoint. Checkpoint 4. Yamate MTR Station. This station is formerly known as Waterloo. It opened as one of the stations of Tsuen Wan Line in 1979. In early stage, no automatic platform gates or railings were installed. Try to imagine how dangerous are the passengers to wait for the train without screen doors. You may want to ask, did anyone try to commit suicide there? The answer is quite certain, yes. In 1981, an accident happened. Both the train captain and the passengers on the platform claimed that they witnessed a white shadowy figure drawn off the rail track. The guest, a young girl, committed suicide. However, surprisingly, no passengers were dead or injured after the inspection. They couldn't even find a blood print or body wreckage. Were the witnesses distracted by the illusion? No one could give a rational and scientific explanation, so it became an urban legend. But why is the myth so convincing? Because she wore a white shirt. Her appearance matches with the image of ghosts in Chinese movie. That makes citizens think that the girl must be a ghost. Chapter 5, 452 Nathan Road. In 1970s to 80s, Hong Kongers liked watching a TVB night program called Mystery Beyond. One typical anthology drama about mahjong, 四人歸西, made the audience burst into sweat. Indeed, the story was molded from a real event in 1953. When 4 people were playing mahjong in the haunted flat, they saw the girl's hands collect the winning bets. They were frightened and called the police. Then, the rumors went viral and attracted many visitors to take a glimpse of the flats. 68 years later, we visited the building. It now becomes Chunghua Bookstore, the elderly home and residence. Nothing really special if we just look at the structure of the building. We didn't even feel the horror or terror. I think maybe the claim of Kongsheng News Daily is true. An unsuccessful tenderer held a grudge and made up a ghost story to defame the building to scare off the buyer. No matter the headless ghosts who order food delivery or ghosts who play mahjong, we didn't find clues to verify the story's authenticity even we visited the building. Chapter 6, Tinhau Temple. Just on the opposite side of Nathan Road, there's a Tinhau Temple which is recognized as declared monument since 2020. Before the land reclamation, fishermen docked their boats at the seaside. Tinhau is the goddess of seafarers. So, the temple was built in Yamate to protect them and give them a good fishing harvest. We couldn't find any urban legends related to this historical Tinhau Temple on the internet. But the cultural relics and heritage are much more attractive. Like the steles, stone Indian lions, the rooftop tiles are well preserved. But it's quite interesting, the hawkers just next to the temple sell sex toys. We found another Vukta temple there. When we compare two temples in Yamate and Whampoa, more people go to the latter one to worship the god. The park in front of the temple serves as the recreational place for old people. It's quite relaxing to take a rest there. Chapter 7, Yamate Car Park Building. Fortunately, the building is now under demolition. We couldn't get into the car park because the construction site is only for a authorized entry. You know, sometimes it's quite disappointing. An urban legend claimed that someone lost his ways and used 2 hours to find the exits in the building. To verify the incident is true or not, or to understand the reason behind, the best way is on-site observation. At least, we can know how complex are the floor layouts that trap people for 2 hours long. What we can do now is like some photographers taking photos to make a record for the building. But I think after the demolition, all urban myths happen inside the building will soon be forgotten. Chapter 8, JD Mall. Now a building with body check centers and restaurants. Before the demolition, it's called Gale, a 16-story commercial building. A fire broke out on 20th of November 1996, which caused 41 people death. The incident lasted for 20 hours. Most of them were trapped on 14th and 15th floor. Their dead remains were burnt into ashes.
The fire broke out in a skyscraper on Hong Kong's Nathan Road, in the heart of the territory's shopping district. It started on the ground floor, but spread quickly to the upper stories through a lift shaft. Within minutes, it had engulfed the whole of the top of the building. Inside, terrified office workers waved handkerchiefs through windows to signal for help. In all, 160 firefighters rushed to the scene to rescue the injured, most of whom were suffering from smoke inhalation and needed immediate hospital treatment.
I heard an urban legend in a radio program called Twilight Online by Edmund Poon. He shared, one day, before the fire, a Hong Kong singer, Priscilla Chan, ran to accompany Polygram Record as usual. The office was on 10th floor, but the elevator stopped on 15th floor. She saw nothing but darkness, so she pressed the 10th floor button to go down. Zhao San's office was on 15th floor, but why Priscilla Chan saw the illusion? Maybe the elevator brought her to a time travel. We tried to take the elevator to 15th floor for investigation, but the JD Mall is only 11th floor tall now. On the highest floor, just a normal medical center. The security said that's a private place, so we were not allowed to take photos. Someone say the resources come to this building for rituals regularly to comfort the spirits. When we took the elevator to go down, there were still empty spaces, but it stopped on 2nd floor because of overweight. Was it a technical problem, or the ghosts make the elevator out of order for a while? We don't know. Checkpoint 9. 3 streets in Hong Kong. Of course, it's really frightening to visit that area. If you use the Google map to search the location of International Funeral Parlor, you will know the reason. Quite a lot of funeral home shops selling flowers, coffins, and bone ashes boxes are located in Hong Kong. Someone called the district as the hub of funeral service. According to the Real Estate's valuation price of standard data, buyers just need 3 to 4 million to buy a flat in Hong Kong's old building, because most of Hong Kongers consider this district as an infamous residential area, especially those which are close to funeral home. I think it's not appropriate to shoot videos and take photos there, because many bone ashes boxes of deceased are still kept inside the coffin shops and stone factories. It's a pity that afterlife settlement in Hong Kong is still an unsolved problem. We have to wait for a long queue just for a long resting place, graveyard, or columbarium. You know, Chinese people mentality is seriously affected by Taoist taboo. They have stereotyped that people who attend the funeral ceremony will carry yin qi, or negative energy. The evil spirits will follow them when backing home. The shops simply place the unused coffins on the street. It drives the passers-by away. Even some taxi drivers are not willing to pick up passengers there as the dusk falls. I think the myth is true. The weather was extremely hot outside, so we tried to grab a taxi on Baker Street, but the drivers just ignored us and the car went straight. Reflection. It's a valuable learning opportunity to go on a field trip. Researching urban legend from a historical perspective or an anthropological approach is a difficult task. Some buildings were collapsed, rebuilt, and renovated. The residents and passerby may not even know the details of the urban legend. Those urban legends with long history, like during the Japanese occupation, before World War II, from 1960 to 80s, transformed over the period of time. One story can have hundreds of versions and endings. Which one is trustworthy or makes some sense? I think some of the story may soon be forgotten under the urban development and emergent cityscape. Actually, it's not easy to find some solid proofs to verify the authenticity of some urban legends. First, we may not be able to find information like newspaper reports or photos online. Second, it's difficult to trace the origin as some stories are transmitted orally without written record. Third, most Hong Kongers have scopophobia. They are not willing to be interviewed or share their personal experience in front of the camera. Preserving urban legends enable youngsters who are curious of the ghost stories to learn more about their local community, history of the district, and train their observation skills. However, it will also cause safety problems as unauthorized entry or photography are not welcome in some places. It is dangerous and disrespectful to take photos in temples or funeral home without permission. Urban legend can be widespread among the residents or even in the community in the past because the newspaper reported the incidents. Nowadays, it is the era of technological advancement. We can easily search videos or news on the internet. In every year, during the Hungry Ghost Festival, Halloween, or Qingming, netizens always share ghost story on forum or YouTube. Click a button and repost. The urban legend keeps spreading among their friends. Many urban legends are yet to be discovered. If you are a fanatic of ghost stories or unexplained phenomenon, don't just watch videos on YouTube. Follow our footsteps and plan for your own field visit. Maybe you can develop a new perspective of thinking. Thank you for watching my video. I'm Gordon Chan.